Scotty just standing there by himself. See ya. Which he probably would prefer, knowing that, so.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you all for coming today. This is the unofficial badge presentation to Scotty. You're gonna get your full Class A presentation at some later date and time, maybe here, with the rest of everybody else, but your day's coming up, quicker than you probably wish it to, but there's no stopping it now, and we don't want to stop it now. Scotty, you've put a lot of time and effort into this position. I don't have to tell you that, I kind of was there for part of it with you, and
You saw the training.
I saw the change, but the right questions came from the very beginning. You had already a background that you didn't even aware of that was gonna be beneficial to you in the position of company officer, as well as gonna be a benefit to the rest of us and as well as the people that you're working for out there. So, you have a lot of questions up here in between the years that haven't officially been answered yet, but you also have a lot more of the answers within you than you were even aware of because of what you've done, your career path and where it's taken you, the people that you've aligned yourself with, the people that you've reached out to for help in time of need and so on. Don't ever stop doing that. They're always gonna be there. They're gonna be your counterparts now and your peers, so.
You guys working Sunday, by the way?
Shift trade already?
Yeah, shift
No,
trade.
I've been calling you.
Phone a
just-
friend.
Hey, how do we do this?
Yeah.
Nope, you're on your own.
There's a lot of things that we try and teach as much as we can. We try and point you in the right direction and get things done, but there's still gonna be a lot of unknowns that you're gonna have to figure out on your own. But you're not the only one that's ever done this. You know, you can ask any of these captains within the battalion, on the shift, out of the battalion, they're all gonna point you in the right direction. No one's gonna let you fail. I know that on behalf of the fire chief and behalf of the executive staff, you know, when you completed your test, I don't know how they knew the testing, the timing, but I was getting text messages right away from the deputy chief going, how did he do? How did he do? How did he do? He did good, he did pretty good. No, I mean, how did he do? Okay, he did excellent, he nailed the test process, he did perfect, so that's all they wanted to know. That's a good sign. That means that there's a lot of expectations of you, but there's also a lot of confidence in you, and you're meeting the expectations of those that you're gonna be working for, and they're happy for that, so. I personally see you going wherever you want to within this department still. This is just a stepping stone, but like I always tell anybody who promotes, I don't care what rank it is, get into that position, learn the position, enjoy the position before you're ready. And when you want to promote, if you decide to, do it when you're ready to, not when someone's telling you to do it. However, he needed to do it. We also need
So
good
somebody was
company
telling you to
officers
do
to
it
help
earlier?
us do our
Maybe,
job. So.
maybe a couple of years ago, she might have said a couple
Yeah,
of things.
so, you know, the timing wasn't right when you started down this road, but you know what, the opportunity was still there, and it fell in place, as it should be, so. This badge that you're gonna get, and along with the bugles and everything else, these guys can attest, there's always they're a little bit heavier than the engineer's badge, and it's a lot heavier than the firefighter's badge. You got a lot of responsibility that kind of falls on your shoulders, you know, to get your crew home safe every day, just like they've done for you. But you're still part of the team, so. With that badge, is responsibility, but there's a lot of pride in wearing it too. The first day you put your bugles on is kind of something cool. You're like, I guess it's official now. I haven't had these before. Badge is a badge, right? So anyways, well deserved. I appreciate the effort you put into it. And congratulations to you and to your family, on my behalf. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm not gonna give it to you quite yet. Okay.
Nope, I don't wanna say a word after that.
Yeah.
Scott's awesome, here you go. No, I'd say the same thing. The first time I remember getting to work with you, we were on, I think it was the Simi incident, we were on the task force.
Yeah.
And, you know, besides you guys being upset at me because I shaved after 4 days and you guys didn't because of your background with the Forest Service, you were like, what'd you shave for? And I was like, I need to look clean. I don't know. Why didn't you guys shave? You know, but at that time, you know, that wasn't really that big of a deal. But the actions and things that I saw from you then and getting to know you and understanding your background, I think you were also working with Mejia, so that was a whole different story. But,
Heck of a combination.
yeah. But it was we had fun. You had a lot of knowledge. You definitely helped at that time, you know, in some of those decision-making processes and having those skills. There was times where we were doing a lot of firing on the 118, and then when it was time to re-engage and go direct, you know, you understood that process where a lot of people were going like, what are we doing? Why don't we just keep burning? It's much easier. But at that time, that was the appropriate, you know, tactic to take. So from that moment, I knew Scott was going to be able to do whatever he wanted to do. Then he was fortunate, unfortunate for us, and apparently you saw it too, but he got to work with a fantastic crew. And we've always said, you know, the one thing about working in the fire service, it's your crew, it's your crew, it's your crew. So
Where are they?
yeah.
Yeah, wait.
I didn't make any plans on that.
One's retired, one's mad that you left, so he didn't come. It's like your brother or something. He's not coming, you know.
He said he's in Mammoth.
So, but he had the fortunate, you know, that choice to be able to work with Terry Lamb and Captain Hadley. Should have been Chief. He was always, you know, Captain Hadley to me.
Yep.
And then Mike Travey. So how can you ask for a better crew than that? So you can I understand why he would stick around and hang out with those guys. And you learned probably so much from those guys and mastered your skills as a firefighter. And then I know you got was taking the captain's test at one time, and we're like, all right, awesome. He's going to do it. And then also he's like, man, I'm not ready. I go, what? How do you say that? But you know, I think that's perfect though, because at that time he really knew where he was in his career, and decided to go, hey, this isn't really right for me. And if my heart's not into it, then I shouldn't do it. So I think when I saw his name back in there, of course, just like Dan said, you know, you're one of those people that have set that great example. We knew you could do whatever you wanted to do. And we look for those people. Some of you guys are standing out here too, but we're not talking to you yet. But we look for that and go like this, hey, we need you. We need you to step up because of the way you interact with people, your relationship skills, your skills as a firefighter. That's the stuff we look for. Those are the people we want to lead these guys into their future so they have a great example to follow. So congratulations. I hope you don't get put someplace else. It seems like all the good people that develop over here in 4s and 3s seem to go someplace else. I'm getting tired of it. So I'm going to just talk. Do you know where you're going?
Yeah.
He's going someplace else.
So whatever you can do.
Yeah. I'll do my best. Apparently I should have worked in HR and not training.
Yeah.
Because for some reason they keep calling their friends and they keep pulling people out. So, but congratulations. It's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Izzy, do you want to say something?
The new HR.
Yeah, I'm the dude.
So now I have a guy.
So from working with you at 41, knowing you your whole career, seeing the trials and tribulations you had at the first side of the test, and respecting your decision and talking to you, and then now seeing you here, this is well deserved. And I think you are, like it's been said, you're one of the leaders by example, and it's well known. I think you're going to represent well, and congratulations, David.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No. Jeff, Tag, you guys have been mentors with him for a long time.
Go ahead, come on. I'll do it to stand over the back. You hold the back sheet.
You can
You can say I did it.
Yeah. Thank you.
So first thing I guess I'll say is I'm happy to be here today with Scott because I was supposed to work at a different fire station today, and had it been my day off, I was planning on coming in. I had work, and so, but it worked out, right? So kind of, you say karma, maybe? I was kind of thinking that this morning. I'll tell you guys why. I followed the rescue engine to 40s, and Scotty came over to 40s on a shift, right? With you, me, Scott Hall, and Billy Diedrich, was it? And so that's my first time I got to Scott. You got only a year behind me, maybe hired. We've been on a long time. And so I remember a little story real quick. I was trying to think back to the day, and I don't even know how Scotty remembers some of these when we worked at 40s, but Scott's a pretty quiet, humble, unassuming guy, right? We all know that, but he leads by what he does on the job, how he treats people, always has a very calm voice. I remember Scott Hall, when he was a rookie, Scotty really never talked, like zero. I couldn't get a feel for him. I didn't even know. We were firefighters together, support company firefighters over there. And I remember Scott Hall one time in the office saying, hey, like, does he ever say anything to you? He doesn't say anything to me. And I go, hey boss, I think that's the way he is. He's just quiet, he watches, he talks when he needs to talk, but he doesn't say things. He just does his actions. So those are my memories of you. I've loved having you at 42 on the opposite shift. My people that work for me, they love having you. They can rely on you. And I also count myself lucky that you came to me for some help when you made this decision. I was working real hard with my engineer because he's in the process also, and I felt like we had started a long time before you came to us, right?
Yeah.
You know, because I know you were on the fence, and I don't know if you know, but like he may have talked to me about this decision more than he talked to you, because we were in
Thank
that
you.
office for hours, painful hours, you know.
A lot of hours.
You know,
Yeah.
he's torn. He wants to. He loves his position. He loved his position on the truck at UT. But sometimes you got to do things for your family, and you do things for the citizens, and you do things for these guys and for me. Your hand gets forced sometimes. So you're gonna do great. And then also, so back to that, he came for practicing, right? Like I think like I don't know where Scott's at, because I don't know if he's been practicing. I don't know who he's been working with. Maybe you saw him practicing at home all the time. I don't know. But then he walked in and did better than the guy I was working with for months. And Scott just went in there, laid it down. I go, well, you were a full sleeper. But see, I knew that even back from when he was a rookie with me at 40s, like full sleeper. Hit the ground running from day one, but so humble and unassuming that you would never know. Same thing with the captain's test. And I was fortunate enough to sit in that room as a role player, and I was beaming with pride when I was sitting in the other room watching you on the video and watching you nail all the scenarios. So you're gonna do a great job. Like I said, please, anytime if I can help, call me. I'm sure.
You've been
Knowing you,
Big help already.
knowing you, I'll probably actually now just be calling you.
No.
My turn. So, first, to you guys, you know, because this is hard on you, you know, and I don't know how much time he took away from you guys, but now it's time for him to get back, right? So, just my advice to you: don't take this job on, because at times it can get a little overwhelming, and you tend to take it out on them.
I
But
did that enough during the academy.
yeah, well, and you probably went through it all, so to the family. Yeah.
Well, more him.
You know, now you get your dad back for a little bit until he decides to do this. And then, but enjoy it, you know, it was well worth it. Just so you know, if he hasn't told you, you know, I'm sure that you guys were his drive to move on. So, so be proud of yourself, you know, for the support that you gave him. Now it's time to take him out somewhere.
Yeah, like Spain.
Yeah.
I heard about Spain today.
I'm totally kidding.